Welcome to another video from East Beds Bushcraft, the home of #survival. Greetings bushcrafter and survivalist. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Buzz, and as usual I'm enjoying a nice coffee. Anyway, what's this video about? Well, you've probably already read the title. This video is about Daldinia Concentrica, which is the Latin name for Cramp Balls. I've got to say right from the beginning, I'm not a great fan of remembering all the Latin names for things, simply because it really goes back to when I was at school. I absolutely detested Latin, and every time that I have to deal with Latin names for anything, it makes my skin crawl. Nothing wrong with it, it's just my own personal feelings. Looks like it's just about to start raining, which is quite nice. Anyway, Cramp Balls. My good friend Jakk Harris asked me to do a video on these, just to give you an idea of what they're all about. Obviously, they are a fungus, as I'd already said, the Latin name, but more commonly they're known as cramp balls, or coal fungus, or King Alfred's cakes. Why King Alfred's cakes? Because the old legend states that King Alfred, when he was trying to escape from, he was on the run from the Viking invaders, and he took shelter in a peasant's home, in their house, and the peasant had no idea of who he was, and gave King Alfred the task of minding her cakes. I believe the term cakes in Anglo-Saxon times could have been referred to small loaves of bread, but anyway, this peasant lady put him in charge of making sure they didn't burn, and obviously with everything on his mind about being pursued by the Vikings and the fact that he was on the run, his mind had wandered, and when she came back he'd burnt the cakes, and he got a severe scolding from her, as the legend goes. And so obviously these fungi, when they are mature and dry, if you have a good close look at them, here we go, there's a couple I keep currently in my Bushcraft tinder pouch, are excellent, absolutely excellent. Firelighters, yes, but in prehistory they were probably used for their ability to be able to transfer fire. You can light one of these and it will smoulder for a long time, and this allows you to transfer the fire from one place to another. This is going to be particularly helpful if you find yourself in a time period where you are doing, say, fire lighting by friction, so using a hand drill or a bow drill, or a fire plough. Then that's a lot of effort to go to every time you move camp and then set up another fire. If there's an easier method of carrying the fire with you to then start another fire, then the King Alfred's cakes, Cramp Balls, coal fungus is a perfect method, and I believe that they have found these on or in leather pouches, or the remains of bodies that have been found in prehistory, that proves that obviously these were being used all that time back. Again, another reason why I don't particularly like Latin names, because I'm a bit of an old school boy when it comes to wood law, etc., and just basically forestry. I like the traditional names. I'm sure that back in prehistory, when people were flint knapping and learning to use fire and learning the things that were around them that they could use to produce fire, use as tinder to carry fire, they wouldn't have been calling these by their Latin names. They would have been calling them by probably a name that has long since departed, and we will never know what they were referred as. I say I have been calling these Cramp Balls because, again, in kind of folklore, that people would supposedly carry these fungi in their pouches. I wouldn't say pockets so much, because as we go further back, pockets weren't necessarily an item that you would have on your hose or your trousers, but you'd certainly have a pouch that you'd carry. But you know, as we come through the centuries, when people do have pockets, then slap one in your pocket, and they were meant to ward off cramp. Ergo, Cramp Balls. Coal fungus, because if you get enough of these, if you find a nice lot of these, then you can obviously put them together in a pile and cook over these on their own without use of any other wood or anything else. However, what I would say, where you find these is generally on ash trees is a great place to find these, and you need to go up and you need to give them a tap, and they will sound hollow, hard and hollow. I found some on an ash tree a few days ago, and basically they would rot. You push your finger on it and they'd crunch. Of course, the other end of the scale is that they are still producing their spores, and if you pick them then and stick them in your pouch, you're going to get a pouch full of spores. And also they can be damp, and so if you're pushing it and it's damp, they're not going to light. You know, you need to take these. You'll get used to finding these when they're perfect, and if they're not quite perfect, if they're still a little bit damp, you can take them, pop them in your tinder pouch, let them dry out. But I wouldn't take, I don't, never, when you're doing anything, when foraging for anything, whether it be tinder supplies, food, whatever, don't go stripping everything. You know, take a couple, find some somewhere else. Take a couple, find some somewhere else. You know, manage what you do. Don't strip everything. Anyway, let's just take these ones, because I want to save those because I use them. That's why they're in my tinder pouch. And the ones that I don't use, or I have been using, I keep in a small little zip top bag. Yeah, one of these little ones to keep the moisture out. So let's see if we can just light one up. So if I just show you, actually, seeing that we've got this one's broken, I'll bring this up. You can see in the lens, you can see the concentric rings around it, where it gets its name Concentrica from. There you go, just out of being boring and back to the Latin again. Anyhow, now what I will say is, when it comes to bushcraft, you don't have to use one of these, which is a ferro rod. You don't have to use one of these. You do not have to do a fire drill, or a hand drill, or a bow drill, or any other kind of friction fire making. You can use a big lighter, you can use matches, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy yourself, get out there, respect the landscape. Remember, the key thing is leave no trace. When it comes to fire lighting, making sure obviously you've got permission and it's safe to do so wherever you happen to be. We won't go into all that now in this video. But if you want to light one of these with a lighter, well, do so. It's as simple as just light it and they'll light straight away. But let's just give it a little go with the ferro rod while we're at it. There we go. So it doesn't take, there's the camera lens, it's coming a bit closer, might not be focusing. Look at that go. Seems a bit of a waste for this video to light this up. As I say, you can light one of these any which way you want, but the great thing is when you light one of these, so for example, if you were using a bow drill, a lot of time when people are using bow drills, they'll make a nest. They'll make a nest out of grass or fibrous bark or whatever to get the ember in it and to get it going. Well, if you use that, I've done this before, if you get the ember from the bow drill and put it onto one of the Cramp Ball fungus, then you can get it going. And look, it's just there, it's doing its thing. Reach over here. Down comes the rain. But what I will say is make sure that you have some leather gloves around if you need to handle it. There you go. My coffee's getting cold. So anyway, cheers, thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed this small insight into using coal fungus. I'll catch up with you in due course.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video and subscribe to the East Beds Bushcraft channel. See you all again soon.